Killing people in public is a lot of work. It takes strategy, stealth, good intel, foresight, tidiness, and the ability to change your appearance and blend in or hide fast. I had never played a Hitman game prior to World of Assassination VR mode, and it's a lot more complicated than I expected, but it's also a lot of fun. As Agent 47, you are tasked with deleting specific high-value targets and sometimes committing acts of sabotage and then trying to escape with your life. The game loop in Hitman World of Assassination VR is really cool. You are giving a briefing in the format of a flat video cutscene that tells you the location, who your targets are, and whatever other objectives there may be. Then you're able to plan out your inventory and starting appearance, and even starting locations if you have unlocked them. You can choose explosives, poisons, distractions, melee combat tools, and you can choose your starting sidearm, and where and what the drop locations will be. Then you start the mission. The locations are huge and offer a variety of areas. There is intel to collect, conversations to overhear, helpful items to be gathered and collected, and the people all follow realistic routines, at least at face value. The world feels realistic enough for you to get truly immersed in it, and I am really impressed overall with this game's level design. Hitman World of Assassination tells you when you have found one of the tracked locations, and how many of them you have found so far. When there's a conversation to eavesdrop on, there's a symbol of a light bulb, and there is a prompt to double tap the hamburger button, which is a small pill-shaped button on the right controller, to get intel on the revealed optional mission. And it will start tracking that subplot. Subplots are all optional, but if you miss out on your window of opportunity, it will show you with a symbol of a broken bulb, meaning that an opportunity has expired or a key character has been killed. These subplots put you in unique and fun situations that are otherwise inaccessible. Graphically, Hitman World of Assassination is high-end for VR as a whole, and kind of medium-high for what people have grown to expect from PS VR2 exclusives. Character models are better than average, but not quite as top-tier as we have seen in some of the other AAA VR titles that have been coming out. They are definitely adequate to keep you immersed, but they aren't going to blow your mind. There is reprojection, but honestly, I haven't really been noticing it. Maybe because I'm just too focused on the objectives. I'm aware that it's there, but I rarely consciously see it in-game. The environments, though, are just beautiful, and they are so expansive that it is a bit awe-inspiring. As far as game mechanics, Hitman World of Assassination is acceptable. It does feel like a flat game that's been converted to VR, but most of the interactions are pretty good once you get the hang of it, even if they admittedly are not the most intuitive. You can only interact with the things that were put there for you to interact with, as we usually see in hybrid VR titles like this. Things you do interact with are usually well done, but not always intuitive. Trying to turn a valve with a wrench, for instance, isn't difficult, but it doesn't feel natural. Throwing items involves aiming the projectile path with your offhand and then doing the throwing motion with your dominant hand, which is a lot like Green Hell VR, which I have recently been playing, so I'm quite used to that mechanic. Inventory is stored by putting the item into your chest, which is a common mechanic, and inventory is retrieved by pulling it out of your chest and rotating a Lazy Susan-style disc of inventory items, then grabbing the highlighted item with the offhand. It definitely works, but it isn't realistic. You do have 2 sidearm holsters and can store a large gun over your shoulder. Reloading is done by pressing a clip release button, then grabbing a clip or magazine from the front of your belt and inserting it and loading the chamber. Vaulting, or dropping down, is done instantaneously with a button press. And more advanced traversal mechanics are done in third person, like climbing ladders, scaling the sides of buildings, etc. There are also actions you may do to blend in that can put you in a third person view. This game is hard. It is not something that you are going to just turn on and run through the levels. I have had to start saving the game every time I complete an objective, or even just put myself in a good position, because there are just so many moving parts and variables to every map, and once things go south, the game turns to chaos almost instantly, and your odds for survival get very low very fast. I am only on the 3rd level of the Hitman 1 section of the game. It took me a long time to get through the Prelude section, which is a tutorial. Each level so far has taken me at least 30 minutes to complete when I am successful, and that is usually after multiple failed attempts. There is a lot of content here. I expect to spend tens of hours just to complete the campaign the first time, and then hundreds of hours trying to accomplish all of the bonus objectives. The game is big and there's a lot to do. I can see this being a game that people keep coming back to. There are unlockables that you get through a point-based leveling system. Each map seems to have discovery progression, and you probably aren't going to see the whole map during a normal playthrough. There is bonus intel and bonus objectives that are triggered by finding or hearing that intel by reading documents or eavesdropping on conversations that are going on in the game. Meaning that Hitman does reward you for actually taking the time to learn the ins and outs of each environment and meticulously exploring and mastering each level. This is a truly big AAA title. I have discovered that I actually enjoy the levels of Hitman World of Assassination even more when I replay them. Going back into a level lets me experience different things in different areas. And as you start learning the deeper workings of a level, you have even more tools to play with. The game starts to feel like the movie Groundhog's Day, but as an assassin. There are so many different side objectives and subplots taking place, and many of them can be corrupted to serve your purpose. Plus, there are so many areas in each level that you really aren't going to see it all in a single focused playthrough. Plus, it is just kind of fun killing the same people over and over in different ways. Hitman is a must-own VR game. It is one of those titles that has a bit of a learning curve at first, but once you get the hang of it, you are rewarded with an incredible, immersive VR experience that will keep you coming back for tens, if not hundreds of hours, and that is not an exaggeration. This isn't a cheap title. I believe it is around $70 to buy both Hitman World of Assassination and the PS VR2 add-on when it is full price. At the time of me making this video, it is on sale, and I spent about $37 to get everything I needed to play this in VR. If you already own the game digitally, it is only $10 for the upgrade, and I believe that is available if you own the disc as well. This version of Hitman World of Assassination VR is only available on PS VR2. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that I've given you all the information that you need to decide if Hitman World of Assassination VR is right for you. If you have any questions, opinions, or experiences with Hitman, I would love to read them in the comments. I respond to every comment I get. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. If you want more content like this, go ahead and click that notification bell. Thank you guys for being here, and game on.